Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3 of MotorServ TV. Today we're really happy to welcome Dominic Murphy from DM&Co Homes. He is the owner of one of the largest estate agencies in Solihull with a massive social media following. When it comes to property and the general property market, Dominic is the man to know. He's a seasoned and experienced agent and investor across the Midlands and beyond. Hi Dom.
Hey Cam, how are you?
Yeah, I'm alright, how are you?
Yeah, really good.
Thank you for coming down today.
No problem.
You haven't had to travel very far.
Around the corner, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. But no, thank you very much today. It's great to have your time. I know you're very, very busy, especially in the market at the moment.
Yeah, not as busy as you though. I mean, getting hold of you is difficult these days.
Trying to keep busy. So, just for the audience, I've obviously introed you in, but yeah, just a bit of background really, and some of these questions, because I do know you, and we've been friends for a number of years, and we've been each other's clients and things, but just, have you always been an estate agent, or always worked within the industry?
Yeah, I have really, to be honest with you. I've been in property as a whole from pretty much the age of sort of 18, 19. Yeah. There's a bit of family background, parents, uncles, aunties, grandparents, all involved generally within the property industry. So I found myself, my first experience of agency work really was on a commercial, an industrial level. I worked at King Sturge, albeit only for a short period of time, a bit of work experience, did just over a year there. Before the whole climate, and it's a bit timely really given the circumstances that we find ourselves in today, when the last recession hit, I was fortunate enough to be offered an opportunity to go abroad, whereby I ended up selling apartments and chalets in a ski resort, which was fantastic, incredibly glamorous, enjoyed every minute of it. Yeah. But then fast forward sort of 6-7 years later, I found myself coming back to the UK and launched DM&Co in 2013 it was. With the first office then on Yoxall Road, early 2014. Yeah,
I remember it well, because I've seen your business obviously grow from strength to strength, just getting bigger and bigger. But we started the current iteration of your business and this business around about the same time.
Yeah, indeed.
If you remember.
Yeah, I do. I remember, was it Coventry?
Yeah, we had a branch in Coventry initially when we first bought into the company, So we had Solihull and Coventry, but it was around that time frame, 2013 to 14. Yeah. So
well, I know off camera we've shared many a story of trial and tribulation and the pains and everything else you go through as a business owner.
Exactly.
So
throughout, I've seen your stuff just grow and grow, especially online. Mm-hmm. How much would you put your, if you could put a figure on it, but how much would you put your success down to social media and your marketing activities online?
Well, I think the world has changed massively. I mean, I think when we started the business back in 2013, there was still a hell of a lot of paper advertising within the industry, and to a certain degree, we were sort of ostracised at times by not appearing in the local newspapers and not being seen to be advertising all those sorts of places. Round about the sort of time where social media was kicking off and Facebook was sort of becoming a thing. And in fact, it wasn't that long ago that a very good friend of mine shared a Facebook memory with me when I'd actually posted a chalet for sale on Facebook. I think this was like 2011, 2012. And he basically just put, do you really think you're going to sell property via Facebook? And a load of laughing. And his message to me was, crikey, how things have changed.
Really?
So Facebook has become an incredible tool for us, social media as a means, incredibly powerful. But a lot of it is just very much brand awareness. I wouldn't say that there was any one particular tool that worked better than others. Our engagement levels are fantastic. So we get plenty of views, eyes on the business. So I certainly would never consider reeling in the activity that we do on social media, and consistency I think is really important.
Yeah,
doing things not once and then hoping to see a result. These things have to be done for not days and weeks on end, but months and years on end. But you guys are fabulous at what you do online. I see plenty of your cars being marketed on a daily basis, so you're getting yourself in the eyes of your consumers as well.
That's the thing, because it is interesting to hear your viewpoint, like from we're completely different industries.
Yeah.
But someone once said to me before, like, he's in Solihull business area, and they said, basically, we're doing what you're doing in property, and you're doing in property what we're doing in cars.
Certainly on the car sales, on the sales side of things, absolutely. You guys have Auto Trader in your industry. We have Rightmove, Zoopla on the market. Many other
evils, as they call it.
I mean, look, Rightmove gets a bit of stick within our industry, certainly from estate agents. It's a fantastic tool, and it is still the #1 place in the UK that people go to when searching for property. So I don't fight Rightmove, I embrace it, and it's a fantastic lead generation tool for us.
No, it's identical, because Auto Trader, a lot of the trade, they ridicule it, they hate it, they say, let's fight Auto Trader, but you just can't.
No.
They are the default app that everyone's got on their phones.
Yeah.
You're looking for a car, you look at that, you're looking for a house, you look on Rightmove.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's what I do myself.
And look, we all know, you can sell your car privately, you can sell your house privately. There are many questions then asked, are you getting the right price? Does it come with the necessary warranties and whatnot in your game?
Exactly.
So yeah, very, very similar, albeit different products, but very similar in the way that we market to customers.
Well, you're selling the biggest asset a family will buy, we're selling the second biggest asset they'll buy, or second biggest product they'll buy.
yeah. And
so that is good.
I guess you're probably likely to have more car sales than we are house sales, because there's families that need cars, mum, dad, kids.
But everyone needs a roof over their head as well.
They do.
Hope you can get referrals and keep getting them. So you mentioned in the last question that you didn't rely particularly on one platform, but where did you start? Did you start on Facebook and kind of expand out from there?
No, we did. I mean, look, it's a necessary evil in those early days. We absolutely had to be on the relevant portals. So we kicked off with a Rightmove subscription. Office was incredibly important to us, having a physical presence. At a time really where Purple Bricks had only very recently launched, or was about to launch. So this whole private house sale, or ability to sell your house privately, became a thing. Fast forward a few years, look where we are now. Purple Brick share price is at an all-time low. Doesn't mean to say you can't sell your house privately, but there's always that question as to whether you're achieving best price. And actually, we've had a fantastic, 8-9 years in. The last 2 years with what COVID has brought and the stamp duty holiday and everything else that's happened. But before then, the market was incredibly good. So it hasn't been difficult to sell a house, but achieving best value and selling a house are two very different things.
Yeah, definitely. So right now, how big is your agency? Like, how many staff do you have, location-wise?
Well, today was payday, so I know that there are 24 full-time members of staff, and then we've got a handful of part-time support players, really. So we sit at around between 25 and 30. With regards to the size of the business, I mean, I always, it's quite flattering when people say it's a big business. I still think, it's relatively small by way of comparison. We've got at any one time sort of around 100, 120, 130 properties that are sold subject to contract, with roughly about 60 available for sale at any one time. And that, of course, is split, we're quite fortunate, that's split between the Solihull and Shirley market, the Knowle and Dorridge market, and then of course we've got a premium brand which covers the whole area, but deals specifically with properties at £1 million plus.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen the different differentiations. Like
driving
around and see the boards.
Yeah, it's good because you get a real handle of all markets. So we're not sort of pigeonholed in one particular sector. We know what's happening in Solihull and Shirley. We know what's happening in Knowle and Dorridge, and then the overall premium side of the business. Then so what I'm trying to say there is each market reacts and acts very differently. So it's nice to see that as a cross section. Yeah,
no, brilliant. So as you've kind of grown the business and as you've got gained momentum, like with your brand and everything else, like locally and like regionally, Have you found recruitment's become easier?
Has recruitment become easier? Yes, it has. Yeah, I think we now start to attract people that want to work for the business.
Yeah.
So I found that certainly helps. Recruitment is a minefield. I don't particularly like recruiting from within the industry.
Yeah.
So I found that some of my best team players have actually come from outside of the property industry, but have a real keen passion for it.
Yeah.
So it gives us an opportunity there to mould and create the team that we want, opposed to people coming in from, you know, perhaps other local competitors with a very sort of rigid frame of mind and you know, this is how we do it, so we must continue to do it like that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's the right way of doing it, really.
No, do you know what? We never actually discussed that, like, privately, but I find the same.
Yeah.
So when people come from main dealer backgrounds or from other places, again, as you say, they're very rigid in their process. So
they always come with like baggage, essentially. You know,
Yeah.
they always come with, I've been doing it here for, you know, or there for X amount of years, and it worked. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, it works, but can we make that better? Can we improve on that?
Yeah, exactly.
How do we improve that client journey? How do we continue to do and act for our clients in their best interest at all times? I think it's really interesting. It's certainly in the property industry, you know, a lot of people forget who the client is. You know, the client for us is our vendor, is the seller of the house. Yet because we meet so many buyers and we get to deal with offers coming in from buyers, there's this misconception where the buyers sort of feel like they're the most powerful and important person, and actually, you know, sometimes you're not acting, you know, they don't think you're doing the best job for them. Well, you know, the reality is we're not doing the best job for them because we're acting on behalf of our clients.
So lately you've become, like, I've seen that you're producing more and more video and you're doing a lot of different range of videos.
Yeah.
How's that working out? Is that gaining momentum? Is it making a big difference?
Yeah, I mean, look, content creation, videography, it's a massive part of the business now. I'd go so far as saying, you know, the majority of our time is now taken up when not out selling, in front of or behind the camera and creating content. Every property that we take to market now has a house tour. House tours and virtual tours became very common throughout COVID. So absolutely everybody was doing a version of a house tour. And it's great to see so many local agents now embracing video technology. And it's just about staying ahead of the pack now, really, and becoming continually innovating and looking
improving,
to improve.
As this, because I know it's really difficult with a lot of marketing mediums to put like an ROI, like to assign a value to it, but since you've been doing the videos, since you've been going deeper and deeper into different content, have you found that sales have sped up or you've made more sales?
I don't think it's the making of more sales. So I don't think video for us sells property. You know, we're really fortunate to operate in an incredibly desirable suburb of the second city. So there is always demand for property. But what I think that our video content does is helps us to build that local community. It helps us to build a pool of, you know, everybody loves property, don't they? Or most people love property. So it's quite easy to watch. So it's probably more of an addiction to the local community than it necessarily turning into direct sales. Of course, the hope and dream of all of that is that those people then become clients at some point in time.
So you just
but measuring
that
it's really tough.
Journey.
Measuring is really tough.
You get fans, and then they'll remember you front of mind as a property provider in the area. So no, I understand. So with your content creation, because I've seen, obviously because I follow your pages, of course, and I see all the different videos coming out, and you've got more and more members of your team doing the videos. Have you found that difficult to make them do it?
Really difficult. You know that
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say that, but they seem so natural, so I thought maybe they're just natural at it.
You know what, they are, but everybody has to get over that first hurdle, that first attempt, you know, the sweaty palms and do I look okay and all that sort of stuff. But no, I'm blessed, really. I've got a really proactive team of people that actively want to be on camera now. But yes, in answer to your question, it was really hard. It is still hard, and it takes a hell of a lot of time. You know, we're back to that consistency and commitment.
No, brilliant. So nowadays, because I've seen obviously, all, as we mentioned, all your social content going out and yeah, etc., etc. But I know in the past you used to do a lot of, or you still may do a lot of the like BNI type networking and things like that. Do you still do that? Or?
Yeah, business networking is really important. You know, I would probably, if we're talking about what I found to be good for business, certainly the networking is an easier and quicker win than the video and content creation.
Okay.
You know, I'm fortunate. I live locally. I've Solihull born and bred. You know, 30 something, 37 at the moment, 37 or 38, and again, lucky to have a local family that's pretty deep rooted in the local community. So I've benefited. The business has definitely benefited from that. You know, we wouldn't have got off the ground really in the first couple of years had it not have been for the support that family and friends provided us with, really. Not to mention then, the rugby club, the football club, the golf club, all of those types of things, together with the amount of networking that we all did back then. You mentioned BNI. I have a love-hate relationship with BNI, but you never know who you're going to meet. So that they are important meetings to attend for sure.
So you keep getting attracted back.
Yeah, you do. You know, you go through periods of doing more networking than you have done for a while, and then you go cold. But hey, look, you're the king of networking in Solihull at the minute. You know, all the awards that you're attending.
Like the awards. We just like the dinners at the awards. But no, it's a good. To be honest, I'm not a morning person, so the BNI. I know you've invited me a few times. I think I came to one, didn't I? I think I arrived to that late. So yeah, I'm not a morning person, and now running around with the kids, it just never fits. But
no.
It is. But I've, for me, doing a lot of personal networking, a lot around, a lot of the different dinners and stuff.
Yeah.
The people you meet.
Yeah.
And the relationships you can build over time, it's just, you can't replace that.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with you.
And I think, look, we're both in industries that people love. People love cars. People love property.
Yeah.
I know you've asked me to come here, and I sometimes sort of, I wondered, shall I, shan't I? I can sometimes find myself quite embarrassed about, my car. I just find it a bit cringeworthy, but people. It's my little vice. I absolutely love cars. Definitely. I have done from a young age, so I have to sort of shun that a little bit.
That's it. But for us, it was that connection, because obviously you use us and then we use yourselves for our property services. Yeah. So no, it's just we thought it was the right in. Really,
yeah.
So.
Well, look, property's a hot topic at the minute,
exactly.
as you said.
Yeah.
And incredibly interesting times that we're going through.
Yeah, definitely. So I have to mention it because I remember when it happened, but you've, just as we have, you've embraced TikTok. Yeah. And you're creating TikTok content quite regularly. So what happened with that one that went viral? If we could talk about that.
Don't offend the loyal Greggs customers. I had no idea how much of a institute Greggs is. Yeah. But what happened? Well, Megan, who is a sort of media student that was working for us at the time, she sort of had seen on TikTok, and she's actively trying to buy a house. She's saving to buy a house, and it was just conversation. If people didn't waste money on daily coffees and whatever they're buying from Greggs or McDonald's or any other brand, that actually over a relatively short period of time that does all add up. And when people are struggling to save for their deposits, cutting out your coffee, your daily coffee or your twice daily coffee, can really amount to something. So sadly, she used Greggs as an example, and it exploded. Within 24 hours, it was over 1 million views. We had newspapers from all over the country calling us.
Daily Mail.
Daily Mail, just literally all of them. It was
all the tabloids.
It was funny, and I had friends literally from across the country, sending me WhatsApps and having a laugh about it. But look, it was a bit of tongue-in-cheek fun, and it didn't hurt us.
No, exactly. No such thing as bad PR, eh? So, talking about your TikTok, is that something that you continued with? Is someone in the company still doing it?
To be honest with you, it's not. It's one of the mediums that we're probably neglecting, and actually is one that we should be doing a lot more of. So only by chance we've had a meeting this week about how to keep on top of the platforms now. Facebook and Instagram is really easy. YouTube, everything ends up getting posted to YouTube anyway, so that again it takes care of itself. But yeah, we need to now integrate with TikTok a little more seriously.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree, because we've done the same. So obviously Facebook, Instagram are now second nature. YouTube is where we store everything and then link back to, which we should really be doing more on stuff on there really. But TikTok, our Reece and Joe have been tasked with that, so they've been doing a fantastic job on it. So starting to grow again, because we had a period where we just lapsed and stopped doing it. Because it's for us, it's because we can't see direct sales coming off it. Right. So it's a bit of just a background noise. But this is the game, isn't it? This is, how do you account for brand awareness? You have to get your brand in front of people's eyes, and at times it can feel painful. It can feel like, you should be concentrating on other things that have a direct return on the cost that is attributed to them. But the reality is, you've got to be doing it all. All of it, yeah. And the TikTok all of it, stuff, and yesterday. Yeah, that's it. But the TikTok stuff, we found that the cost for doing it and getting it in front of 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 people is a lot less than Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. It's a lot less crowded with kind of professional services or businesses than the other platforms. So because everyone's doing the same, trying to figure it out. How do we get an angle to it? So we're experimenting a few different things at the moment. So, but you get to have amazing cars come through your door. So that's it. We got good visual props. You have absolutely got those for sure. Yeah, that's it. And we can make noises with them. We can turn around on that thing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we are quite fortunate. You can't do that with houses. They don't make noises. But they look good. They do, especially the ones that use that. Yeah, the ones with swimming pools and tennis courts and all that. They're living the dream. So with your estate agency, because now you've got different kind of parts to it. Because I've seen your signs up on like new developments and like new apartments and like new housing estates. Have you got like a new homes division? Is that? Yeah, we have. So it was all about building revenue streams into the business, really. We started as a sales only estate agency, as I mentioned earlier on Yoxall Road in Shirley. Very much a side road, so not in the eyes of everybody, but starting somewhere. So we're looking to build the revenue streams in the business. We started as a sales-only agency. I failed at so many things. I failed at getting lettings off the ground. I failed at getting new homes off the ground. And it's only really in the last 12 to 18 months that I've been able to refocus on learning from the mistakes that we've made, but equally getting the right people into the right places. So for me, it's been really important to have the right team dealing with Solihull sales, the right team dealing with the Knoll and Dorridge sales, the premium sales, the lettings, the land and new homes. So yes, we do have a separate team for each of those that work really well together, to be fair. No, it's really good. So like looking at, because this is another similarity between us, because when I saw your new place, like your new office, it's like is it fair to say that you're like a hybrid between the physical and digital sales model? Look, our shop window these days is 90% online. Most businesses are based online, but the importance of having that physical presence is phenomenal, really. We've seen that with the office that we've got in Dorridge. There's no way that we would have the market share that we do today in Dorridge had we have not had that office. Similarly, getting off the ground in Solihull and Shirley would never have happened if we didn't have an office. You see so many agents start and then disappear, and that just comes down to, in my opinion, there not being enough visibility. So they go hand in hand. We've got a head office around the corner in Cranmore. That's where there are circa 15 people that are based there on a daily basis. The majority of our teams work from there, but it's been interesting modelling because we've essentially moved away from the high street in Solihull and Shirley, retreated to a head office on a business park. It's provided us with loads of additional space. It's put
teams under one roof, so that's created better relationships and synergies between the teams. So from a business point of view, we've seen the efficiencies improve tenfold, and actually we haven't, as a result of the move, lost market share, and that was a real key metric that I was keen to monitor, and that's probably because we were established in the area. The moving from the high street was an easier opportunity. If we had started with an office completely off patch or on a business park, I don't think we'd have generated enough traction, and I don't know anybody out there that has done it that way round.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, I tried to do it in the motor industry.
Right, okay.
And, we started obviously in the business park,
Yeah.
exactly how you're describing, big fat unit, we had loads of space,
Yeah.
had no cars to work on.
No.
So that's what we found, and when we opened our place, obviously it's taken us years to get obviously the traction to get off the ground on the service side, but when we built this place for the sales, everyone thought we were just going to stack this place up with cars and we were going to smash this through and we we're going to put cars all the way up to the front. And it's like, no, just a handful of cars and doing things like this and doing like the viewings and doing everything else. So we're like hybrid in between the two as well, because it's important, exactly what you said, to have that physical presence. So you can come and touch and feel the car, you can test drive it, you can kick the tyres, whatever you want. And you know, it's here. The after sales is here. Everything's right here.
But people still want to talk to people.
That's it.
You know, they if something, you know, and inevitably stuff goes wrong in life, in business, it does. Exactly. You know, it's how you deal with those problems that sort of makes you really. Yeah, definitely. So having somewhere that people know you exist, it's important. Really important.
I know that we've joked about this in the past, but other people have also joked about this with me, and they've said, so what is it with you and Dom? Are you trying to take over every roundabout in Solihull? Because you seem to have different ones, different patches all around. So have you found that's worked, or is it just brand awareness? You know?
Look, it's the roundabouts. That's an interesting one. I really like them, and I made a point of not telling anybody that I was doing them. Because I wanted to measure the reaction of friends, family, clients, and whatnot. And it was amazing. I wasn't even told that they were being put up on that specific day. My phone, you know, that for pretty much the next few days, it was just messages. Wow, seeing the roundabout. Wow, that looks good. You know, and that's not massaging our egos or anything like that. But it's great when you know that something is just a brand awareness tool that it does create that brand awareness. And they are probably second to people seeing us online on social media and whatnot. Exactly. They are the things that people do say more often than not when we're on our valuation appointments.
I saw that there, and
and it's not, you know, we've got the one by the roundabout, Solihull Motorway Junction, and then the junction with Load Lane. So it covers the centre of Solihull. Really. So if you're driving through Solihull, you know, the chances are not only will you hopefully see one of our boards, but you will also see the roundabouts. Yeah,
that's it, and I do. I see it every day. So, and just have to say, someone's crashed into one of them. So
that's back up now. Yeah, that is back up. Yeah, back up. As of
I noticed that last week, and I was going to message you about it, but I thought you'd know already. So really, you know, touching upon, because at the moment we're in a bit of a position with the economy, like with the recent PM change and all the turbulence going on. What are your thoughts to? Interest rates have shot up. Are they going to keep going up? Are we facing like a late 80s crisis? You know, what are your thoughts? And specifically Solihull, I'd say, because...
Is this my crystal ball?
Yeah, exactly.
No. Look, joking aside, it's a serious topic. Do I think the interest rates are going to continue to rise? I think that, you know, we're sat here now at November 2022. I think I think they have peaked. I do think, you know, they've already started to come down ever so slightly. Are we ever going to experience the 0% and the 1 to 2% again? No, we're not, and we shouldn't. You know, we became incredibly used to cheap debt, and that had a lot to, you know, that that has a lot to answer for, really. So no, I don't think we will. I've recently fixed a mortgage for 5 years at 3.5%, which, you know, at the time I thought was expensive. Sat here today with rates at
laughing,
you know, 4.5 to 5%. You know, it's not too bad. So no, I think that we're pretty well protected in the area that we operate in. You know, we joke about living in a bubble. Solihull, whether you like to admit it or not, absolutely is a bubble. Within the bubble, there are then these little microclimates like your Knowles and Dorridge, and then your premium parts of the market. We're incredibly lucky, as I referenced earlier on, to live in a suburb of, an affluent suburb of the second city, where people want to be here. The schools are fantastic, transport links are excellent, and there are more people that want to be here than not.
Definitely, I agree, and that's always been my experience as well. So I was hoping you were going to say that. So with the current market conditions, do you think there's going to be, obviously the rates are going up, so the rents are obviously going to creep up as well?
Yeah, the rental market has been on fire the last 12 months, and still today, you know, we're seeing rents continue to increase and rise. I think it's really difficult for say youngsters, for people to get onto the housing ladder. Certainly more difficult now than I think it ever has been. So I think probably one of the positive things that has come from the interest rates, you know, going so high so quickly, is that the buy-to-let market has really cooled down. We're seeing a lot of investors that are looking to offload their properties. That's for a number of reasons as well, because now they're not so tax efficient if they're owned in a personal name. So we're seeing a lot of landlords transition their portfolios into limited companies, but equally a lot of landlords just sort of say, look, I've had enough of it now, and looking to offload their properties. And that's going to, I hope, add a bit of fuel to the first-time buyer market. Historically, landlords would be picking up your 150 to 250k properties and apartments. You know, okay, it's difficult to get £150,000 properties around here at the moment. I'm not suggesting they're going to flood to the market, but I think there will be a lot of, you know, your 225 to 325, which is prime first-time buyer stock locally, drip feed to the market over the next few months.
Yeah, you kind of answered it. I was going to move on to a question. Obviously, as an employer in the local area, I've got a big tranche of employees who are, you know, they're in the first-time market kind of area, and they're looking to do it. They're looking to take the plunge and buy property. So they're asking me that question. In my opinion, should they wait or should they rent for a bit, or Look, what are your thoughts?
I think waiting is always expensive, because it is always more expensive the longer that you wait. Whether that be by way of interest rate, whether that be by way of the market moving. I personally don't think the market's going to move over the next couple of years. I think we're going to go through a period of stability. We've had the insane peak through COVID, stamp duty, holiday and whatnot that really spiked the market. There's 10% that will come off that, I'm absolutely confident of, but I don't believe that's a 10% drop in the market. I think that just is getting rid of the fluff that was created over the hysteria of the last couple of years.
So moving back to like the business, and like when you kind of transitioned into your own business, if there's anyone in the audience out there who are thinking of taking a plunge and now like they're holding back because of the market conditions, etc., etc., what would you say to them? What would be your top tips?
Crikey, top tips. I think being a business, being a business owner it can be incredibly lonely at times. I'm a very trustworthy person, I'm very forgiving, and I think that's a quality that I've had to learn to deal with really when growing the business, or when making business decisions, should I say. So, what tips would I give people? Look, think it through, talk to people. Don't always talk to family and friends, because they're probably going to tell you that it's a great idea and yes, you should do it. But when it comes down to you having to fund that decision. You know, they're not going to help you out necessarily in 6 months or 12 months when cash flow is tight and that fantastic decision perhaps wasn't as fantastic. So I'd encourage you to talk to people. There are loads of you know, business mentors. I think mentoring is fantastic. I've certainly benefited from that in recent years.
So, in the first stages, you know, what would there be any particular do's and don'ts like that would be transferable, not just for estate agents or property people, but just
yeah,
generally?
I think do seek advice.
Yeah.
You know, do not be afraid to research the market that you're going into. Don't be afraid to speak to competitors at that stage, you know, or perceived competitors. Speak to people. Yeah. Don't keep it all in.
Finally, as we're here, and I know you are a big car enthusiast, so right now, so that's your lovely Porsche 911 over there, 992.
Yeah.
I know you've had a few Porsches now. Was this always your dream? Was this your benchmark vehicle?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's probably the fault of many a person in the family, really. You know, aunties, uncles, my dad. You know, there has been a string of 911s in the family, and I think from a very young age, it was very much, you know, I absolutely want one of those one day.
Yeah.
So it was I guess it was something to focus on. Always nice to have milestones or achievements.
Yeah,
and
your targets. Yeah.
And you know, I think I probably got my dad to thank for it, because he never used to let me drive them. And there was that sort of burning desire to, like, right, one day I will. And yeah, a few years ago I was lucky enough to drop into my first one, and then more recently this one. So I can't see that ending. Hopefully.
Have you found that your demands and needs are now transitioned to another milestone? Are you looking for, or are you completely satisfied with?
Yeah, well, look, I just recently bought a house. You know, for me, the business is my project. I've got things that I would like to do with it, will do with it. If I were to talk to you about those, you'd think I was nuts and crazy, so I have to be careful about how much I tell people. But look, we're on a journey, and the journey has to be exciting, otherwise you lose appetite for wanting to push things forward.
Definitely, I agree with you there as well. So before your 911s,
I know you had a string of cars.
A string of cars, exactly. I know I've seen you in quite a few of them, obviously, because you've been coming here. But what was your favourite car before the 911s?
What was my favourite car? I remember Jeremy Clarkson once saying that if you can't afford a 911, have a Golf GTI.
Yeah.
So my favourite car before the 911 was the GTI. I think I had a Mark 6 GTI. And that was great fun. That was great fun. Yeah. I did then move on. I had the Mark 7. I think it was still a Mark 6 or Mark 7 Golf R, which is a phenomenal bit of kit, but mine got nicked along with everybody else's.
It seems so, yeah.
And then, what was your first car?
My first car?
Yeah.
My first personal car was Renault Clio.
And how old was that? How long ago was that? Showing your age now.
Showing my age now. Well, that was
what reg would that have been?
That was a V-Reg.
V-Reg.
98.
In the old days, a V-Reg.
Yeah, V-Reg. And it was brand new from Renault Solihull.
Right.
With free insurance.
Did it last long?
Yeah. Well, I used to change them every year because the free insurance used to run out. And so I used to because I'd rather put the money into the car than the insurance.
Yeah.
So that's what I used to do. And I used to switch them around. But then my first proper car was a BMW 318 Coupe in 2001.
2000, crikey.
Yeah. And I've been stuck with BMW since. Or stuck in a BMW since.
Stuck in a BMW.
Yeah.
Crikey. My first car was a Ford KA.
Excellent.
It was a black Ford KA. Didn't have the body coloured bumpers. It was a bit of a racket. And in fact, I wrote that one off on a bit of ice. It was okay. There was no problems. But my old man was absolutely convinced I'd done it on purpose because
you hated it
because of
before,
how much I hated it. So being the nice chap that he was, he went out and got me the exact same car again. And I was stuck with that. I was stuck with that for a couple of years. In fact, before then, I went onto a Fiesta climbing up the Ford ranks, which has now been, everyone's been told that it's the end of the Fiesta.
I think everyone's had a Ford Fiesta at some point.
End of the Fiesta.
Born in the 80s anyway.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, that's it.
What's your favourite car?
Well, I've had the same car since 2007, just different versions, so I'd say that one. So 7-2's been the view.
But you love your big comfort cars, don't you?
Yeah, I do, because once you've been in them, you need your sofa to sit on while you're driving along. So, and it's an all-rounder for me, like with the family and everything else. Like, it just ticks all the boxes. Motorway driving is quite quick as well. So, yeah.
So what's your dream car?
My dream car
is... You got to have a dream car.
That one there.
No,
I'm waiting for you to give me a really good price. No, it's, to be honest, because we're very fortunate. Look what we get surrounded by every day. So you kind of get a little bit sick of them. So it's just, when you go home...
You heard that, Cam's sick of cars, so he doesn't have a dream car.
A little bit like buying cars, that's for myself. So yeah, but the dream cars, because the thing is, the shine goes off all the sports cars and everything else, because you just, in them, you're selling them, you're always around them, so you just want a bit of comfort.
Okay, what's the best car that you sold?
Best car that we sold loads of good cars.
Oh, come on, the best.
We sold a R8.
Most memorable?
Yeah, okay. I think R8's Coupe V10 was a nice one recently, and we had them two M4s in green, which both went as well. One had the orange interior, so that was quite striking.
Right, aggressive.
And then I quite like the new Defenders, and they seem to move quite quick as well at the moment. So,
do you know what else moves really quickly?
What's that?
Their wheels on the back.
Oh yeah, the wheels on the back, and the cars themselves. I've heard, like without the actual owner's permission, which is a problem. But we're very fortunate. We get a lot of mix of cars, all the way from the bottom to the top of the range. So it's great. So thanks very much everyone for watching. Hope you found that useful. And if you want to, I don't know if you want to say, Dom, where people can get in touch with you.
Just online, obviously. Instagram, Facebook, I'm sure Cam will throw the links into wherever this is posted. But honestly, if anybody ever wants to have a chat about property, be it informal over coffee or in the pub over a pint, I'm absolutely keen as mustard. We do really operate in a very transparent, open and honest fashion, whereby we want to be everybody's friend. And we believe that we can help add value to your property propositions.
So thanks, Dom. Thanks very much for that, and thanks for your time today. So look out for our next episode. We'll be looking for more people to interview that can add some real value from not just motoring sector, but from like, all different sectors that affect our life. So if you know of anyone, if you want to be interviewed yourself, please do get in touch, and stay tuned. All right, thanks very much, Dom.
No problem
It's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more content, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.